Hey guys, it's NPC here, and today we're talking about everyone's favorite little ninja, Kuda Izuna. Before we get into the video, if you like what you see here, I would appreciate if you subscribe. And disclaimer, I do not claim to know everything about Blue Archive. This is mainly my understanding of the character, and now on to the video. Izuna is a light armored front striker who is a very versatile mystic damage dealer. Equipped with their trusty SMG, Izuna is a force to be reckoned with. Looking at her stats, Izuna's attack is 255, which is pretty high for a SMG character. Her defense is 22, which is kind of low. HP, being 2,835, is pretty good. Accuracy seems normal. Evasion is extremely high at 1,066. And her fire range is, well, expected, right? So the question is Izuna better than Haruna? Let's compare their level and base stats to find out. As we can see here, Izuna loses to Haruna in the attack, accuracy, and firing range category. However, this is a little bit deceiving. Moving on to her skills, Izuna's EX ability moves her to target location, leaving behind a doll, and also receiving an attack buff for 30 seconds. This is what it looks like. For Izuna's EX ability, I recommend that you level it second, and that you keep it at level 3 until you want to invest more resources and max it. For Izuna's normal ability, Izuna throws a bomb after 6 hits, dealing massive damage. This ability is Izuna's core skill, and I recommend that if you own Izuna, you try to level this skill to the important levels 4, 7, or 10, because those levels are the levels that give you the most value for your resources. This is what it looks like. Take note that Izuna deals 5 attacks before reloading, and each attack does 3 hits. Izuna's passive skill increases her crit damage. Surprisingly, I think this is her weakest ability and should be leveled last because all her other abilities are just that strong. Lastly, Izuna's sub-skill increases Izuna's attack after using her EX skill. This buff also lasts 30 seconds. I think her sub-skill and her passive skill are kind of tied, but I like the attack buff she gains, and I tend to use her EX skill just to keep up the attack speed that she gets, so it's better for my playstyle. So I'll recommend you level this skill 3rd on the list. So recapping, this is Izuna's skill kit. You can see that her normal skill is buffed by basically every other ability in her kit, and that her EX skill and sub skill synergize really well together. This is the order I recommend you max her skills. Her normal skill is probably the most important one, followed by her EX skill. Her sub skill and passive are kind of similar, really just personal choice. So with Izuna's banner coming to global, what are her pros and cons, and is she worth pulling for? Let's go over that. Firstly, Izuna's a bruiser style character. She is pretty tanky, but she's more on the damage dealing side for bruisers. Secondly, she's a very strong auto attacker. For the most part, her kit is based on her just attacking. You really don't have to interact with her very much. It's like one of those set it and forget it kind of things, you know? Another benefit to having Izuna is that you can use her as an off-tank. Because of her stats, she can essentially be another tank outside of Tsubaki. In this following clips, you can see me recklessly throw my Izuna into a pack of mobs just because I want to. She's really tanky, and I'm not really worried that she will die. Enjoy. as you can see from those clips. She can just eat damage, it's not a big deal, right? So the bad parts about Izuna is she kind of needs 5-star. In the sense that early on when you're using her, she's not really that strong and she can die really easily. But if you have that Elif investment, she actually becomes really, really strong. Another bad part about Izuna is she's not really a great PvP character. Characters such as Haruna probably shine a lot better in PvP if you're dealing with Mystic armor. And finally, I think she's more of a mid to late game character. Early on with how gear works in this game, really kind of want tier 4 gear before she actually starts popping off, because you get a huge power spike in that portion of the game. So going on with the original question, should you pull on her banner and is she worth it? If I'm honest with myself, she is pretty decent. I'd say she's worth pulling. However, if you don't plan on putting Elifs into her, it's probably smarter to skip her banner. No, I really think Izuna is one of the strongest characters for Total Assault, and she's also really useful for PvE. I feel like her potential for late game and future content is very high. And lastly, this clip here is me just tanking Kaiten raid. It was really tough because I was a moron and I decided to solo heal with Miku Hatsune. And from what I can tell, the healing wasn't enough. But somehow Izuna survived, and this is what made me realize how incredible she is. Enjoy.